Verse 35, Ulladhu Narpadhu Anubandam, supplement to 40 verses on reality given to us by Sri Raman Maharshi. எழுத்தறிந்த தாம் பிறந்தது எங்கே என்று எழுத்தை தொலைக்க எனாதோர் எழுத்தறிந்து என் சப்தம்கொள் எந்திரத்தின் சால்பு உற்றார் சோனகிரி வித்தகனே யார்தான் விளம்பு. In this verse, Bhagavan says, you need to ask this question, to whom is destiny? Or, in other words, to interpret it another way, you have relative knowledge, right? Physics, chemistry, IT, medicine, and so on. That is called relative knowledge and ignorance of relative knowledge. For example, if you are a doctor, you know medicine, you may not know aeronautical engineering. So the doctor knows medicine, but he doesn't know aeronautical engineering. This is called knowledge and ignorance. Everybody has knowledge and ignorance. One person may know German, he may not know French. This is called knowledge of German and ignorance of French. This is relative knowledge in the transactional world, in the psychological domain. So we have this relative knowledge. Bhagavan says, instead of using it again and again, instead of keeping your knowledge as the roof, as the ultimate roof, ceiling, he says, drill it. Ask to whom is this knowledge and ignorance. Don't have pride that I know so much in this field. There might be people who know better than you are. Or a person will be born and he'll come into the world displaying more knowledge than you have or I have. So he says, don't keep it as the ultimate reference. Which one? Your relative knowledge. The other way to interpret is to say that I have destiny, I have been bound by destiny. I think this is more apt. Probably Bhagavan meant this only. That I have been bound by my karma, prarabdha karma and destiny. Now he says, don't accept destiny. If you accept destiny, you are accepting in a way that you are the body alone. Refuse to accept, he says. Just instead of accepting your relative knowledge and destiny, he says, inquire to whom. You will get an answer, to me. I have destiny. Which is that I? And seek the source of that I thought. I think this is Bhagavan's message consistently throughout his writings. In more than 10-12 places, I think he has said this. Seek the source of your sense of I, your bodily sense of I, your I thought. So he says, instead of inquiring and finishing off this destiny business, people keep repeating the thoughts, he says, like a tape recorder. He is using the modern technology example. Saptamgol Yendirathin Salbu Utrar. They have the nature or character of a tape recorder, he says, which keeps running again and again in a loop. Like we have this feature now in YouTube also, that if you want a song to play again and again particularly, it will keep playing endlessly. The same way, we keep grinding the same thoughts again and again and again. Same thought, why am I like this? What is happening in my life? What is the answer to the universe? Does the universe exist? We try to seek intellectual answers, which is an impossibility. Bhagavan is pointing at a certain truth. If your I thought is there, I am the body sense is there, psychological sense of I is there, you need to address 1 trillion questions. Why is life like this? Why is evil there in the world? Why is poverty there? Why do people die early? Why do people get sickness? A number of questions. What is going to be the future of mankind? Does God exist? And so on. All these questions are intellectual. You can find some satisfactory answer by the study of scriptures and by the study of Mahatmas who have lived and gone. But that is not Advaita Vedanta. Advaita Vedanta says Tattvamasi. One only exists. And that's what you are. It says you. When you say I, Bhagavan says the meaning of the word I is not the body, not the psychological sense of I, not your mind. He says beneath that there is something else. If this is mind, there is something behind, like a dynamo which powers the entire system, which first powers the I thought. And on that I thought, that is the foundation, 1,000 stories are built. I am a man, I am sentimental, I was born in such and such year, I studied this, I did that, and so on. Everybody has a life history. He says, keep aside your life history. Don't be like a tape recorder which runs the same songs again and again and again. Then what should we do? Ask this question. Who is experiencing all these thoughts? Which is the birthplace of, that's what he says, எழுத்தறிந்த எங்கே பிறந்தது என்று. He says, which is the birthplace where this I thought is born. He says, seek it. Bhagavan has been ruthless in his teachings. When devotees came, they would be sometimes scared to ask question, because Bhagavan would ask, who is asking this question? This is what he did with Paul Brunton, the British man who came to Bhagavan. He traveled all over the country to find out the truth about spirituality. He met all the fake so-called gurus. Finally, he landed up with Bhagavan. Again, he left Bhagavan and went around and then came back again finally, because he was convinced, yes, he is the real Jnani. So, Bhagavan, he kept asking questions. First 3 days he didn't speak. Later, he came up with a long list of questions. Bhagavan kept quiet, kept listening. Then suddenly he turned and asked Paul Brunton, who is asking this question? Paul Brunton couldn't even understand the question, because he had never thought of, in these lines. He thought the I thought, which is asking the question, is the ultimate reality. That is how we are all. For us, the ultimate reality is the psychological sense of I, me, this person. Bhagavan says, drill it. Seek the source of that I thought. You will find yourself to be experientially something new, someone new. When I say someone, not a physical person, it is Sachidananda. But this happens slowly. So seeking the source of I thought. Why? If you want liberation, if you want to put an end to this drama of birth, death, endless cycle, and if you don't make an effort and come out of it, Bhagavan says, it will go on and on and on. In this birth, a man, next birth, a woman, and the next birth, a man, and so on. This is Ishvara's department. He plays the permutation, combinations. Your sister in this lifetime could be your brother in the next life, or a friend in the next lifetime, and so on. This is what even Western psychiatry also says. I read that book, Many Lives, Many Masters, by Dr. Brian Weiss. And another book he wrote, Love is Real. And there are several other books which talk about it. See, the point is, theory we can go on accumulating. There is no use. It may help us in the transactional reality. I can now go on talking about such, truths to people. People will listen. They might even offer some money. So for survival, we can do anything. If we are genuine about liberation, jnanam, that intellectual resentment has to come, that curiosity. What is Bhagavan saying? Was he not a human being too? Are we not human beings? Yes. Then what he attained, it should be possible for us to attain too. Because there is no discrimination at all. It is common. Jnanam or self-realization is common property. It belongs to everyone. That is what everyone is right now. But then, as I said, the veil is there in between. Thoughts. Thoughts, hide our true nature. So if we remain still, as Bhagavan often used to quote from the Bible, be still and know that I am God. Stilling the mind is, equal to switching off the fan, mental fan that is running inside us. It is running constantly without any obedience. If you say mind stop, it will not stop. It will work again with more vigor. So through practice, slowly we need to bring it about. There has been this example given. When an elephant and a mahout, they go out, the elephant would sometimes listen. But if it decides on the way to get into the field and eat all the bananas, you cannot stop it. The mahout cannot stop it. So what is the way? The elephant would not listen. He listens sometimes he wouldn't listen. So, which is the way to make sure he listens all the time? They say training. Train the mind slowly. From my observation of the mental happenings, I get to understand this, that with slow practice, we can change patterns. Even bringing about silence, the stillness of mind, is a matter of practice only. It doesn't come overnight. Everything, the way we build muscles in the gym, the way we learn a language over a period of time, or the way we learn a subject over a period of time, we get this stillness of mind over a period of time too. With continuous practice, Bhagavan assures, mind will stop. Nanudiyadullanalai, the state in which the thought doesn't arise at all. And when we stabilize in that state, Atma will shine forth of its own accord. We don't have to make the Atma shine forth. It is oneness, it is the revealer, it is the power behind the entire universe. What makes you function as an individual is that Brahman. What makes all other human beings function as human beings is that. What makes the animals, plants, stones, stars, etc., whatever is there, whatever is functioning is because the way it is functioning is because of the power of Atma, the dynamo of Atma, which is the revealer, which is behind. And that is what you are, that is what I am. That's what Bhagavan says. So in this verse he says, you say destiny, or you are proud of your relative knowledge, instead of finding out the birthplace of all this knowledge or ignorance, or the birthplace of this I thought which carries the idea of destiny, instead of seeking the source of that I thought, like a tape recorder, people are running the same tapes again and again and again, he says, using the modern technological language. So seek the source of I thought. Not all the time. If work is there, fine, let us get into the work. And whenever we find time, then slowly over a period of time, 24/7, this will become the only business of stilling the mind through inquiry. Who am I? Let us think about it.